I mean, how serious or not serious an issue is it if a lawyer potentially is bringing a phone in to a jail and allowing their client to make calls on that sort of in a private manner?
It's extremely serious. It's a crime. Any lawyer who would do that would be arrested. If there was proof, they'd be convicted. They would never be a lawyer again. It's an extremely serious allegation. It's a story for another time, but it's something I've been accused of myself. And of course it was not true, but of course it was extremely salacious and, really a big deal. Other lawyers have been disbarred for the same that I'm aware of, that I've seen. It's extremely serious. What's happening here is the defense is saying that because this judge saw this, and I think the defense is 100% right. And if I was the defense attorney, I would be fighting like hell for this. This judge saw a serious accusation from the state that these lawyers are committing crimes in favor of their client, right? That it is going to the level where they're helping their client use a phone, which, by the way, when you use a phone from jail, like Tim said, that's how escapes happen. I mean, you could arrange the murder of somebody, right? People have gotten phones in jails and used that phone to arrange hits on other people. This is extremely serious. For them to be involved in that and for the judge presiding over the case to know that, right? And to see that in a legal document, he is going to give it validity, and he is not going to be fair to her and her team because he doesn't respect her lawyers any longer, right? So the reason that it's in here is not because they're admitting that it's true. They have to put it in here to properly defend their client and say, hey, wait a second, this judge saw this. This judge does not belong on this case anymore. And I think it's pretty clear they're right.
Yeah, this is it just got interesting real fast with Tim laying it out and Jessica hopping on there. But by the way, it's not just Donna Adelson here who's being, tugged around. It's the Markell family. I mean, Ruth, Bill, Shelley. Right. I mean, what do you think it's like? What's this like for them right now? Because now this is this is a literal curveball coming out of left field. And,
they probably don't even know about this, the nuances of this motion. They probably don't until this show.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any in the Democrat talking about this, and they cover it daily. This is the first about this motion that's been released.
There you go. Best guests, Tim Jansen. Lindsay Goebel here to Jessica. But wouldn't the wiretap, and this is what I think this is what Josh was asking about before, but wouldn't the wiretap they did on Harvey's phone confirm these allegations if they were tapping? But I don't see the state filing anything that wasn't true. But this would be I'm confused because
you're not going to get me on that.
Jessica, go for it. Just answer.
It's not for me. Oh, they think the state are above board. No, the state are not above board. The state are not above board. Ever. And I think that what Tim, no offense,
prosecutor of the year,
no offense, prosecutor of the year, right? But I think what Tim was
Look how
saying,
innocent Josh is. How could you say that?
In terms of the prosecution just should have gone to another judge with this. I mean, I think that that's the most obvious thing. And so the fact that they didn't is not a mistake, right? We're not dealing. This is too serious, and this case is too high profile and too public for this to be a mistake. This was a strategy, right? This is the state's strategy, and the state got away with it. And the state got away with it when the judge didn't read it and say, what? I'm recusing myself. How dare you? Right? No matter what the cost.
Yeah, this is fascinating. So back pain forever. Defense attorneys always think their motions will get granted. I'll let Jessica weigh in. But first, Jessica Mishali. She is a criminal defense attorney from Boca Raton, Florida, originally from Miami, and an all-around very formidable and tough defense attorney that you do want on your side. Trust me. There's a question here, Jessica, before your final thoughts. What should have been done from Flora Paris? What should have been done with information about possible defense misconduct? I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but to flesh it out, what should have been done or what could be done?
I think if they wanted to get a warrant using that information, they should have simply gone to a different judge. I think it would have been just that simple to keep this judge on board. And that's all it would have taken. So that's what I think that they should have done.
Yeah. So same question I asked Josh. What now? What do you think happened? Do you agree with Josh that this is just going to move forward and they're basically going to deny whatever they're asking for here?
I do. I do agree with him that that's what's going to happen. Though I think the motion
why?
is
Why? Why?
Why agree with Josh?
No. Not why I agree with Josh, but why do you think that? I mean, I'm curious.
So unfortunately, we see this get played a lot of times. Like I said before, when you lose, you always file for a rehearing. The rehearing 9.9 times out of 10 is denied. They're asking for a rehearing, and it's even more difficult because they're already at the Court of Appeals level. And statistically, your chances go down, down, down. Your best chance of a win is at the trial level, right? And then it goes even less. So people who wait to hire their lawyers for appeals are not doing the smart thing. It's statistically less of a chance. So you have this coming before them again and again. And in order for them to rule en banc in favor of the defendant, they will have to say they screwed up, right? And how likely is that? It's very, very unlikely. Is it possible? Yes. Do I think the motion's persuasive? I think it's very persuasive. And I wouldn't be shocked if the judge makes a decision to recuse himself, especially now that this is out there at some point. But do I think that the Court of Appeals is going to make that ruling? I don't. I disagree with them. I think that this judge should not be on the case going forward. I agree, though, that Donna Adelson should be brought to trial and that the trial should move forward. I don't think she should be given additional time. She's not losing her lawyer at this point. But it's definitely a very shaky situation here with these lawyers as well, being accused of not only crimes, but crimes that they're committing together with the defendant on the case.
Yeah. And by the way, you got to note that, and Tim knows this a lot better than myself, but when Jackie Fulford was a judge, she basically was forced into resigning. Correct, Tim?
That is correct. She took a disability. She was under charges by the JQC, but then voluntarily resigned with a disability.
Yeah, and I think normally that wouldn't be that important piece of information, but with some of the allegations floating around, maybe it is. Tim Jansen is the GOAT on this case. He is the famed Tallahassee criminal defense attorney, the letter R, Timothy Jansen, and O-U-R. And I learn a lot from Tim all the time. Julia Nielsen here with a very simple question. Are they stalling? I mean, if I'm Donna and I'm complaining the way she's complained about jail, including her narrow ear canals not being able to be flushed out properly, I want to get out of there. I want to go to trial. So, Tim, are they stalling, and what do you think happens next?
Well, one, I think giving them 100,000 emails right near trial was perfectly reasoned for a continuance. That should have never happened. And the state said they didn't get them, whatever. This came to their attention. They were filing another motion, and when this came to their attention, they immediately filed the motion. I agree they should have filed it. I understand now, looking at this affidavit, what they've included, why they want to go en banc. But, getting en banc means you, like you said, all the other judges that you have lunch with all the time, you're going to say these three judges did the wrong thing. The judge that wrote this opinion, Judge Long, was on this circuit, so knows Judge Everett. Okay. So if you ask me what's going to happen, do you remember the movie A Few Good Men? Mm-hmm. Remember they said, I object, sustain. I vehemently object, Debbie Moore said. Oh, you vehemently object, sustained, or overruled. So that's what this is going to be. It looks good on paper. It gives you a good podcast, but in reality, 99.9%, they probably won't even be a per curiam, and they won't even require the state to respond.
I love when lawyers just drop, like, I've never heard the word per curiam in my life until right now. I love when judges drop this stuff. But Tim, when do we get an answer? You said they the answer is going to probably be move on, but how do we know? When will we know?
We'll probably know something if they require the state to respond, or if they file a response, probably 10 days. We'll see.
Great. That'll be right. And are those hearings, do you think, are they going to happen as scheduled? The case management and the change of venue, that'll happen?
Yeah, they still have jurisdiction. They're just doing this to try to recuse the judge, and the judge will proceed until he's told by the appellate court or the chief judge, you're no longer the judge. Mm. And if they kick him off, then another judge will step in and walk in because he wears the same kind of black robe. He sits in the same chair, and then he'll make the ruling. So judges are interchangeable, just like state attorneys are. So
there you go. What a day. What a story. I'm thinking of a weird story from my past just to prove that I was studious and I was in the library. I don't know about today's technology, but when I was at Brandeis University before Wendy Adelson, when you go into the library, do you guys have this thing where it's like a turnstile, but if you have like a barcode in your book, it would freeze the turnstile. In other words, you're trying to steal a book from the library. You couldn't get out. So
how many times did that happen to you, Joel?
Well, my rotten friends, I'll tell you what my friends would do. I spend a lot of time in the library, and they would find the smallest books on the most disgusting things, and they would sneak them into my bag. And then I would get stopped by the librarian, and they pull out like a 3x4-inch book about like, how do you cure your STDs at home or something, you know? And then the librarian would be like, oh, did you check this out? And I would have to say, no, those were my idiot friends. And they'd be in the corner hysterically laughing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we used to have fun before Instagram and X and those things. That's how we used to do it. Anyway, on that note, love you, America. Justice for the Markells, first and foremost. Donna, I'm sure you want to get out of jail. Huge thanks to Josh, Jessica, Tim. This was a great panel. I appreciate you all. And tomorrow, I'll be giving you a Diddy update at some point. And Phil and Scott are coming back. They are back. We'll see you tomorrow. Guys, stick around 1 second.